ways. I know what I need to find a way. Well, I know that it's worth saying, but I don't know what to say. Or the 30.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Fat Daddy's Learning Fiasco channel thing. Today, in a desperate attempt to be liked by my critic, Massive Acevedo, I think, I'm actually going to show you how to do a pause button. Probably should come standard in Captivate. Now, I'm totally going to quit bagging on the Captivate team. They've done a lot of great things well, but there's still, this is one of those shoelaces that's still kind of left untied, in my humble opinion. There is no instantly accessible pause feature unless you want to use the Captivate play bar, and I don't because I've had a lot of issues with it. Not going to get into that, but anyway, one of the most commonly asked questions about Captivate is how exactly do I use a play button, pause button combo if I don't want to use the toolbar? And so we're going to quickly go through that right now, and it's going to be fairly straightforward. There's a lot more creative stuff you could do with this if you want, image wise and function wise, but we're going to keep it real simple just so we get the point across. All right, let's go ahead and get started. In this example, we actually have two buttons that are both smart shapes. We have a play button and a pause button. Now I have a bit of a naming scheme for those of you just now tuning in. This is a single page interaction, number one. We've talked about this before in some of the previous tutorials. So I've named this slide SPI1, and you'll notice that I use that theme throughout so I can keep things consistent, and I'm able to locate them quickly by page. You'll see that I've labeled the buttons here. This is a pause button. It's just a rounded smart shape that I'm using as a button, and I'm calling it SPI1 underscore pause 1. Well, let's change this to pause button just to be meticulous and irritating. All right. So SPI1 pause button, and we're going to make this button visible in output right off the bat, so the user will definitely be able to see this one first. We're going to tell them to use it as a button. We're going to have a fill here. We're going to use a red gradient, and on success we're going to execute an advanced action, and we're going to execute this action that I've created called SPI1 pause. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at that action really quickly here. Now, this is a trick that someone ought to teach you guys. I'm going to go ahead. The first time, if you want to run one of these actions, these conditional actions, as a standard action, it won't let you do this right out of the gate. The first thing you're going to have to do is just assign some wacky equation here, just completely random stuff, and go ahead and save it the first time. And once it says script update is successful, you can go in and delete this code. And what that's going to do for you is it's going to allow this conditional action to just play through without any kind of if criteria. And the reason that I do this is so that there are sometimes down the road where I want to attach more advanced actions, and instead of creating this whole action again from scratch, I'm able to quickly add an if-then action here. Anyway, so that's kind of a footnote. Really what we're doing here, once we've removed this if section and updated, we're going to go ahead and hide SPI1 pause button, and that's the button that was initially clicked to kick this whole thing off. Okay, so we're going to hide that pause button. We're going to show SPI1 play button. That's the green play button here. We're going to assign CP command resume with 0, and we're going to assign CP command pause with 1. You can also do this by grabbing frames. It gets a little complex with that. I have a replay button that I often use where I grab the frames with that, so I don't want to confuse the system. Also, if you'll notice, the order here is kind of important. We want the showing and hiding to happen first, and then we want to make sure that resume is set with 0 before we pause the slide here. It's a bit of a catch-22. We want to keep both of these buttons alive and well, and we don't want them to cancel each other out. So the first thing we're going to do is make sure that the old function's turned off and the new function is set. So let's go ahead and take a look at our play button. Okay, our play button does very much the same, except that I went ahead and moved the pause up to the top. and set that to 0. We want to make sure that the pause is no longer at 1 when we set command and resume with 1, which is going to set the Swift file back in motion. And then we're going to hide the play button, which is the button that we just pushed to kick off play. And we're going to show the pause button again, so we want to give the user the ability to pause. Now, the cool thing about doing it this way, let me go ahead and align these really quickly here. We're going to put these right on top of each other. And again, the pause button is going to be displayed, and the play button is invisible. You can see right here. The cool thing about doing it this way is, if you'll notice here, I have a video on the screen as well. This pause command will pause everything on the screen, even the video. If I have any audio playing in the background, it'll pause that as well. This is very, very useful for students who are consuming a lot of audio and video at the same time on one slide, as they can, kind of digest the information a little better. Let's go ahead and see it in action. Quit mumbling, fat daddy, make it work. All right, so you see the play bar cooking along here, right? And we're going to pause it. Play bar stops moving. We're going to hit play, and it keeps cruising. All right, now this time we're going to click a button here to start off a video. All right. See how I hit pause there, and it pauses the video? I hit play, video keeps going. Pause, pauses the video. Play lets it keep going, etc., etc. So there it is, pause and play button. Fairly quick and easy. Probably not the best solution ever, but definitely functional. If you have any questions or concerns, or if there's anything else that you'd like to see in one of these video sessions, go ahead and shoot me a message down there in the comments, and I'll be glad to put something together for you. Thanks again for tuning in.